Ready to go live, mama. Alright, we're going to try this again, y'all. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully, we don't get... Hopefully our internet speed does not get stifled. Not really sure what was going on there the last time, but... It is exactly 8 o'clock. So we'll get started in a second. Let's see who and all can get back on. And then what I'll do is I will get on the chat here. And hopefully it's just the bandwidth is better. Something happened last time. I don't know what was going on. Take two. Hey Sam, how's my audio? Is it Rico? What's up, man? Hey Rick, did you get that Justin's email from the last? If you go back, you'll see his email in the actual feed. Great. Perfect. All right, Texas Mom.
I'm finishing up folding.
Texas Mom's folding laundry. So,
I'm almost done. There you go.
Oh, good deal. All right. That's so funny that y'all work in the same industry in the same state and everything. All right. So what were we talking about, Texas Mom?
Having fruit trees.
Oh, yes. We were talking about propagation and the fact that it's a resource. It's a barter of sorts. You can also share it with other people. Oh, that's what we were saying with Josh and Mandy. We gave them 17 cuttings, and some of those cuttings I gave them, my friend Eric at The More You Grow gave me. And it's just neat how you can keep paying that forward and how you can share it. And not, you know, the other thing that we're sharing... Oh, hold on. Miss Butterfly wants to get in on the action. Oh, Miss Butterfly. What do you do? There she is. You want to say hi? Miss Butterfly, look. You say hi to everybody?
Can you say hi?
Can you say hi?
Say hi.
Hi. She's a cutie bug.
Yeah. And that goes with the animals, too. I mean, we gave Josh and Mandy their first rabbits. They came up here and were a huge blessing to us and helped us out with getting the rabbit tractor set up. And then we were like, what else can we give you? We gave them some chickens last time. And then this time we were like, what can we give you? So we gave them a couple of Muscovy ducks, a male and a female to start. But that's the neat thing about the homesteading community, especially on a local level. And getting to hang out with our other neighbors the other day. You know, we gave them the goats. They were able to sell some baby goats. So they gave us back some money. They got out of the chicken and duck business for the temporary time being.
Yeah, so we bought they had some really good Texas Naturals feed that we bought back from them.
So you have this whole community thing.
There's community. The other thing that you're preserving are cultivar, you know, certain breeds you're preserving. Anybody that's looking for a milk cow, the guy from Maybank that we bought honey off of is selling
her apron on.
Oh, you have your apron? Oh, what you gonna make?
She just took my apron and put it on. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Milk cow.
Oh, that's cool. Sam Laura trades piano lessons for their cow milk.
That's so cool.
That is so cool. I mean, and I mean that's the reality of, you know, real currency they're always, man, I got a couple buddies. My buddy Mike, he is like the king of barter, and that guy will barter anything and everything, and it always somehow rematerializes in the form of a firearm. He'll start out with a pack of chewing gum, and he'll end up with like an AR-15 or something like that. But the guy that sold us honey, we got a really great deal on honey. I think $1,800. but he has a, she's 75% Jersey. She gives 3.5 gallons a day, and I think he wants $800 for her. But she's in Maybank, Texas. So, but if anybody is looking for a dairy cow, I mean, this guy has some high quality cows, and he's kind of winding down his operation, which is why he's unloading them. I'm not sure how old the cow is, but he's got some really sweet cows, some high quality cows, and he's just a really good guy. All right, so we were talking about investing diversification. We're talking about investing in infrastructure, and yeah, it's a really good deal. It's a really good deal. And if I had one more 13-year-old, I would probably get another. But, or if I had an extra half hour a day to milk a dairy cow, I would do it. But I don't right now. But maybe someday. But not right now. But yeah, developing that infrastructure. And the other thing about, especially if you have kids, with developing this real life, real world skills, real infrastructure. For whatever reason this year, I mean, my trees are fruiting. And yes, Daniel, send me an email. Yeah, you're in Terrell, so that's not. Send me an email, and I'll forward you his information. And yeah, he still has several cows. So yeah, and if you're looking for one in June, he'll probably hold it for you, and he'll probably even let you make payments on it. This guy is just such a great guy, and he's awesome. And he just sent us like a little handwritten note. It's like, hey, you know, if y'all are looking for another cow, and we are going to be getting some Longhorn from our neighbors. Our neighbors have been developing a legit Longhorn herd, and we are also going to be filming a micro documentary on the history of the Longhorn as it pertains to the state of Texas. And we've had that set up for a while now, but just everything hasn't lined up. And they have a beautiful herd, and we're going to get a Longhorn starter kit from them, and that's where we're going to put it to the other property. And yeah, they're majestic, they're cool, they're not as scary as everybody says they are. They're super tasty, and they're very very hardy. Carolina girls, what's up? They're incredibly hardy, and you know, they're easily sustainable, easy to stay organic. You don't have to vaccinate them, you don't have to worm them. You know, depending on the size of your herd, if you get too crowded, you're going to have issues with anything. But we're not. We'll max have 2 to 3 cows probably at any one given time. So.
We were talking about real estate is another. That was the other thing.
Longhorns do very well in the winter. Longhorns are very hardy. They're very
minimal birth issues.
Yeah, minimal birth issues, smaller birth sizes. They're just a very attractive animal. There's a lot of urban legends about them, and it's so funny when you mention Longhorns to a lot of local Texans. They're like, "Oh, you like that meat," and you know, but then you always got to worry about the horn. It's like the same 5 things that everybody says, and we're like, no. I mean, our boys go in amongst the herd and go fishing over on that property.
They have
with the
sticks
bull
with
and yeah.
They have big.
You always carry
sticks.
a
big long walking stick.
A big head beater. Just
yeah,
you know,
just
if you got to clock the bull, you're not gonna have to mess with the
but they've
with
never
the cows,
messed with them. So
never.
Far. They stay away from them. The boys respect them.
Yeah, and the boys have animal sense about them, and but yeah, when it comes to investing, and well, it's I don't know if anybody saw this. Let's see. I want to pull this up because this is going to be the norm. Zero hedge. If you want to know another decent place to find information, one is Zero Hedge. Hey, Junior. What you doing, Bobo?
Come on. You come say hi.
Let me see here. Let me find my article I had pulled up here somewhere. Over the rainbow here. Oh, here it is. Hold on a second.
I can barely hold
Huh.
this.
It was here. It's not here anymore.
Come on.
Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is Illinois, okay? All these states like California, you know, our good friends from California, they're actually planning on moving, and he has a pension. But this is what the feds are talking about doing in Chicago. An audible gas went out in the break room I was in at last month's pension event, co-sponsored by the Civic Federation and the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. That was when a speaker from the Chicago Fed proposed levying across the state, and in addition to current property taxes, a special property assessment they estimate would be about 1% of actual property value each year for 30 years. So the Chicago Federal Reserve, which isn't federal and isn't a reserve, they are proposing an additional 1% property tax to rescue the failing state's pension funds. And ultimately, they will do that. And ultimately, the pension will still fail. And they'll still get bailed out. And but that's the kind of stuff that we're up against. I'm sorry, I'll pull the feedback up here. And
yeah, 1% a year increase.
Yeah, 1% a year in addition to the already rising. Papa Truck Prepstetter, what's up? Yeah, for 30 years. Because all of a sudden the pension's going to magically be fixed in 30 years.
What do you consider your best investment currently, Josh? Josh and Mandy want to know.
What? The cow.
Yeah.
It would have to be the cow. It's such, it's the scariest investment because it's so big and ominous creature, and you're like, what if it, what if it gets sick, and what about when it gives birth, and I've never dealt with an animal this large, and you have all these, concerns about it, and yeah, you like the beard? Even Junior likes the beard, folks. There you have it. The beard stays. Junior thinks that Sam.
Look, it's me.
Look at Junior. Junior thinks that Sam should grow his beard back. There you go, Sam.
Oh, come in.
Hey.
Yes, it has to crash to correct.
Come in.
It has to, and it's because it's all predicated on. Well, it's all predicated on synthetic currency. So. Yes, liberal.
Yeah, and in our situation, we have neighbors who have cows, so we have some good cow mentor kind of people around us, and we had a willing and able 12-year-old who was up for the task.
Yeah.
So, not everybody in every situation can handle a cow.
If my kids couldn't...
if we just had little ones, we would not have a cow right now, because I personally... I love large animals and I like being with them, but having the little ones, I can't be in two places at one time, and I just wouldn't. I would put that all on hold for a while. I would buy my milk and work on other things. And then after the cow, I would say these propagatable fruits like Southern Texas Homestead. You singing, boy? Southern Texas Homestead mentioned elderberry. Incredibly easy to propagate, very prolific, quick grower, quick producer. We planted ours last year. They're going to fruit this year. Southern Texas, what variety do you have? Do you know? Do you have Adams or Ranch or Bob Gordon? I have Adams, Ranch, and Bob Gordon. You're going to get serenaded tonight, folks.
Ohio silver. Away.
Ohio silver.
Adams. Yep. Yeah, that's what I started with, the Adams. And then I saw Terry Durham at the Mother Earth News and bought some Ranch and Bob Gordon, just stuck them in the ground, and they're going to town.
Yes. We like things that we can propagate easy. Less inputs, the better.
Junior says hi, folks.
So, and real estate, I mean, I think that is a...
Real estate.
In working up to that goal. We're not totally at that goal yet. Just being able to purchase real estate, but that's definitely on our radar and one of our goals.
Yes, we've always done well in real estate, and I've always liked real estate. And we purchased the ranch. That's for the boys. That's not an investment in that venue, but as far as like rental real estate or commercial real estate, but we will absolutely look in that direction. They're not making any more real estate. It's real, and it's not synthetic. It's not a derivative, and that's the big point with paper investments, is they're unrealizable synthetic derivatives that you know, the most you could ever get is a stock certificate, and they don't even issue stock certificates anymore. But they literally are not real. There's nothing, there's a certain amount of supposed company behind it, and that company's only as good as its balance sheet, and its balance sheet is only as good as how truthful its balance sheet actually is. I mean, if you look at Toys R Us, recently crashed. It was bought by a venture capital company. And all that happened to Toys R Us is they went to refinance the debt, and they went to refinance the debt, and the banks just said, "Yeah, no, not this time. We're not going to refinance you." And they had no other choice but to pull the plug. And that is just a sign of a debt-based economy. And that isn't that's more the beginning than the end. This type of trickle down. Do you need to touch everything? Silver and gold are both artificially suppressed. Silver and gold has historically matched the Dow. Peter Schiff predicts a lot of stuff that Peter Schiff has said has happened, but Peter Schiff predicts that the Dow and the gold are going to meet. They met in the 30s after the Great Depression, and the Dow and the price per ounce of gold met in the 80s, and Schiff predicts that it'll happen again. Ammo and toilet paper, steel and lead are good commodities to invest in. You plant some lamb's ear, and you don't even need toilet paper. You know what I mean?
So a little bit of silver you would recommend?
I would absolutely. I buy junk silver, which is pre-64 currency, and just because I like it in the smaller type of denominations. Everybody knows what it is. It's easily verifiable. It's not pure, but to me that's kind of irrelevant. It makes it cheaper and easier to buy. It makes it easier to facilitate. Like, for example, with you got a warranty deed. Check that out. You can get it very cheap at yard sales. You can get the rounds. My thing with buying junk silver is that when you get the smaller currency, so that in an event where you're using it as real currency, you don't have to subdivide it, like with a gold round, or even the gold Cougarans. I have some of those, but I mean, you're still talking about they're $300 a piece or something, and so as a monicum of exchange, unless obviously you're exchanging with somebody that can give you change that can break your So, I just take all that stuff into consideration. It's just things to think about. And it could all be totally irrelevant. I may never use my silver or gold, but it will always have a value. It'll always have a use. I prefer silver over gold because I feel that silver is more suppressed than gold, and silver is a highly commercial product, heavily used in with commercial applications. So I see it as a greater commodity that could skyrocket quicker than gold just because of its commercial use. Gold's being used too in computing and different things like that. But right now, as far as buying, a great buy, silver and gold are a great buy. And if you ever look at hyperinflation in relation to precious metals, it is the best time. I've spent, let's see, well, I have it on my phone, but I forget what silver's trading at right now. And I watched it go to.
Danielle says,
Daniel.
Daniel, I'm sorry. Beans, bullets, firearms are the way to go.
That's right. It's all real. Yeah, it's at 16 now, but I've seen it at 55, and I owned it at 55, and I can't remember. I think silver went as high as 80. And I mean, that's an incredible buy at 16 when you think, when things finally start to move, but it's the instantaneous gratification of, well, what did it do this week? And, missing a B Bibles. That's right. Yeah. I have started bartering with my breads. A friend helps me with office work in exchange for weekly breads, and another trades fresh produce from their garden. That is great. And that's the kind of local community currency. I mean, and that happens in our community all the time with our neighbor. He'll want some eggs and he gives us hay, and he wants a couple rabbits. So we're constantly bartering to some extent.
That would be a good investment. Put yourself in a place geographically where there is a community. I think that would be probably the best investment you could do is to geographically put yourself in a place where there is community, some sense of community.
Yeah, Daniel makes a good point. Like even listening to Schiff, who I think has a really good understanding of what's going on, and Ron Paul and different things. They're still, we were reading in Jeremiah again today, and why does God always talk about these? He always talks about, like when he talks about restoring Israel, and he's going to bring back their herds and the wine and the wheat and all these different real life, real tangible things of value. And and the gold and the silver, God says the gold and the silver is mine. God recognizes gold and silver as a monicum of value. Look at the tabernacle, and everything was gold, solid gold or gold plated. Even God recognizes gold and silver as a monicum of stated value. And so there's nothing synthetic or derived about that when the God of heaven, God created it. So, but
he made it. It's not fake.
Food is medicine. That's another great. That's a great point. I met this guy at the gym this week, and incredible story. This guy was 19. He developed leukemia, and he went the conventional route with the leukemia. Well, while on leukemia, they gave him a steroid that destroyed his hips. So he has double hip replacement. He's 25 years old. And we got to talking, and he was like, man, if I have to do it again, I'm going all natural, and I'm not going the conventional way. And I said, yeah, man, it's all fake. And I said, when you realize that the medical, here's another great example. Oh, we're going to get rid of Obamacare. So what did we do? They got rid of the penalty, right? So all that is going to do is that is going to force the people that don't have health insurance, now they're not going to be penalized for not getting it. So they're not going to get it, which is going to put more pressure on premiums to skyrocket. All they did with Obamacare is make the problem a disastrous. Obamacare is a disastrous pile of dung. And all they did was exacerbate it by removing the penalty, because there's going to be less people in Obamacare and the premiums are going to continue to skyrocket. Why didn't they kill that thing? They want to collapse the system. And if you can think that Trump wants to make America great again, I'll guarantee you one thing. If Trump is only a one-term puppet or whatever, he is going to come out bigger, stronger, faster, and richer out of this whole deal. I guarantee it. Obama wanted to heal and save the world. The guy's a multi-millionaire now. Look at the Clintons, hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. The Clintons. They're like white trash on steroids. The Clintons. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm not saying that these people are dumb. They're certainly not dumb. But they're certainly not worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yep. You can't eat gold. You betcha.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. Yep, and that's why I think it's important to talk about balance and being diversified. You're investing in your animals, you're investing in your land, you're investing in your fruit trees, you're investing maybe in real estate and having some other. How wonderful I think it would be if we had some rental properties that could provide a side income source.
And the rental properties, you can plant orchards in the yards. Here's the thing about planting fruit trees. A lot of people say I don't have enough room. You really have to look at intense planting. Dave Wilson popularized this in California. But what they're doing now is they are planting fruit trees 18 inches apart. So what you do is you plant 4 cultivars that all fruit at a different time. And you kind of plant them in a guild in a circle 18 inches apart. And then you have this super small area that supports 4 fruit trees. The fruit trees are more productive. They produce more. They produce at different times of the year. And it's called intensive planting. I just watched a video today or yesterday from Rossi, a fig guy. And it's just really something to consider, how you can utilize a very small area.
Yeah, and just how wonderful that would be, that if we did, if we were faced with a bad economic situation in the future, and there are people in need, to have some little rental properties with some little fruit trees or something that you can offer somebody a place to live. That is a real thing. That's real.
Oh, why did that just? For some reason, my Jeb. Please, Jeb. One of Junior's nickname is Jebediah. Hold on, Bobo. Let's see here. All right, hold on here. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point about the pharmaceutical industry, and I will. If you look it up, I think Dave Wilson has a video on it. It's called Intense Planning. Was Ross DeRossi, I think is what it is. He's a fig guy, and he's got just a regular house in a small yard, and he's planting 4 apple trees in a 25-gallon pot, and he's planting 3 apple trees in a 15-gallon pot, and it's incredible. And I want to say it's called Intense, or no, it's called Intense Planning, or it's called aggressive planting or something like that. But they're doing it now with fruit trees. And it takes me forever to plant. I had these 7 trees, and I'll go out there and I'm like, oh, I don't want to dig these things back up. Like I want to plant them in the right spot, and I space them closer than what it says on the tags, because I want to utilize my area. But when I start thinking about intense plant, I'm like, man, I could plant these things 2 feet apart if I wanted to. And hey, Thea, how you doing? Get out of debt. That's the biggest thing. Supposedly, the economy is doing great. Debt is at an all-time high. National debt is at an all-time high. Our national debt. Now, supposedly our national debt is $21 trillion. And, oh, Obama, blah, 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 the fastest whatever, Obama. And the skyrocketing national debt has not skipped a beat with the regime change, with the administration change. Hasn't skipped a beat. What's up?
No.
You say hi, Goob?
Hi.
National beat. But here's the thing. If you take into consideration the pension liabilities of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, the national debt is almost 100, might even be now, $100 trillion. We can't even fathom that. Okay. Let's see. Man, we have never had this much problem. I thought for sure when I went with a Verizon Cellular, unlimited data. Yeah, it's truth in advertising. There. All right, y'all. I don't know if this thing's gonna cooperate. It has been. It's. I don't know. It's never done this before. So, well, we'll ride and see what happens. But what else? I was talking this guy at the gym about, how fake the monetary, recognizing what is, get rid of cancer. Oh, you body, and then to count nearby. You just got you got to pray about it. Certain. Well, if you're saved, you have to pray about it. If you're not saved, you need to get. But the me can attest to the fact that he relocated us. Nothing. We knew nobody. We moved. Job house. We had 2 vehicles, 3. We had a U-Haul trailer. The property keeps cutting in and out. It's just
talk about a lot of things. Did you get a 21 minutes?
Yeah, I did, and